The Battle of Badr, fought on March 13, 624 CE, marks a pivotal moment in Islamic history. This desert clash pitted the nascent Muslim community of Medina against the powerful Quraysh tribe of Mecca. The outcome of this battle would have profound implications for the future of Islam. It would shape the destiny of Muhammad and his followers. More broadly, it would influence the course of history in the Arabian Peninsula and beyond. The Battle of Badr was more than just a military engagement. It was a clash of ideologies, a struggle for survival between two diametrically opposed forces. On one side stood the Prophet Muhammad and his followers, a small but determined group driven by their newfound faith. They were inspired by the message of Islam, a message of monotheism, equality, and social justice. On the other side stood the Quraysh, the dominant tribe of Mecca and the custodians of the Kaaba, the holiest shrine in pre-Islamic Arabia. The Quraysh were resistant to Muhammad's message. They saw Islam as a threat to their political and economic dominance. They were determined to crush this fledgling religion before it could gain a foothold. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of Islam. The sands of Badr would bear witness to a clash of civilizations, a battle that would shape the destiny of millions. The desert, a place of harsh beauty and unforgiving conditions, played a crucial role in the Battle of Badr. The scarcity of water and the scorching heat would test the endurance of both armies. The vast open terrain would dictate the strategies employed by both sides. The desert itself would become a character in this epic drama, shaping the course of events and influencing the outcome of the battle. The years leading up to the Battle of Badr were marked by growing tensions between the Muslims of Medina and the Quraysh of Mecca. Muhammad's message of Islam, which challenged the polytheistic beliefs and social hierarchies of Meccan society, was met with increasing hostility. The Quraysh, fearing for their power and prestige, persecuted Muhammad's followers, forcing many to flee their homes. In 622 CE, facing escalating persecution, Muhammad and his followers migrated from Mecca to Medina, an event known as the Hijrah. This marked a turning point in Islamic history, signifying the establishment of the first Muslim community and the beginning of the Islamic calendar. However, the Quraysh, unwilling to let Muhammad and his followers live in peace, continued to harass and threaten the Muslims of Medina. One particular incident that inflamed tensions was the expedition of Abdullah ibn Jahsh in Rajab, 624 CE. Muhammad sent a small reconnaissance party led by Abdullah ibn Jahsh to gather intelligence on Quraysh movements. During the expedition, a skirmish broke out, resulting in the death of a Quraysh man and the capture of 2 others. This incident, though minor in scale, served as a catalyst for war, pushing the Quraysh and the Muslims closer to open conflict. The Quraysh, outraged by the death of their kinsman and the capture of their men, vowed revenge. They assembled a large army, led by some of their most prominent leaders, and marched towards Medina, determined to crush the Muslims once and for all. The Muslims, outnumbered and outmatched, prepared for the inevitable confrontation, knowing that the fate of their fledgling community hung in the balance. The stage was set for a battle that would determine the course of history in Arabia. The Battle of Badr was not just a clash of armies, it was a confrontation between 2 diametrically opposed leaders and their respective visions for the future. On one side stood Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, a man revered by his followers as a beacon of truth, justice, and compassion. He led his community with wisdom and humility, inspiring them with his unwavering faith in God and his belief in the righteousness of their cause. Facing him was Amr ibn Hisham, better known as Abu Jahl, father of ignorance, a staunch opponent of Islam and a powerful leader of the Quraysh. Abu Jahl represented the old order, the entrenched power structures of Meccan society that felt threatened by Muhammad's message of equality and monotheism. He was determined to crush the Muslims and extinguish the flame of Islam before it could spread any further. The armies that assembled at Badr reflected the social and political dynamics of the time. The Muslim army, numbering around 313 men, was a diverse group, composed of early converts from Mecca, as well as members of the Ansar, the local tribes of Medina, who had embraced Islam and pledged their support to Muhammad. They were poorly equipped, lacking in military experience, but united by their faith and their determination to defend their community. The Quraysh army, on the other hand, boasted over 1,000 men well-armed and provisioned, representing the military might of the Meccan elite. They were confident in their numerical superiority and their experience in warfare, expecting a swift and decisive victory over the unbelievers. Section 4. Preparing for battle, strategic maneuvers in the desert. As the Quraysh army approached Badr, Muhammad, guided by divine inspiration and strategic acumen, chose to position his forces near a vital water source. Controlling the water, a precious commodity in the arid desert, would give the Muslims a crucial advantage. He ordered his men to dig a well near the battlefield, ensuring a supply of water even if the battle lasted for days. The Quraysh, accustomed to dictating the terms of engagement, camped on the opposite side of the battlefield, seemingly unconcerned by the Muslims' strategic positioning. Their overconfidence stemmed from their numerical superiority and their belief that the Muslims, lacking in military experience, would crumble before their might. However, Muhammad, aware of the psychological impact of terrain, had cleverly chosen a battlefield that would negate the Quraysh's numerical advantage. The battlefield was flanked by hills and volcanic rock formations, limiting the Quraysh's ability to maneuver their larger force effectively. This strategic positioning forced the Quraysh to engage in a more confined space, nullifying their numerical superiority and putting them on a more even footing with the Muslims. Moreover, Muhammad, recognizing the importance of discipline and order in battle, organized his troops into distinct units, each with specific roles and responsibilities. He appointed experienced commanders to lead these units, ensuring clear lines of communication and command. This organizational structure, unusual for Arab armies of the time, would prove crucial in maintaining cohesion and effectiveness on the battlefield. Section 5. The Clash of Swords, Key Moments of the Battle. The Battle of Badr commenced with individual duels, a common practice in Arabian warfare. 3 champions from the Quraysh challenged the Muslims to single combat. Ali, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law, stepped forward, followed by Hamza, Muhammad's uncle, and Ubaidah ibn al-Harith, a close companion of the Prophet. All 3 Qurayshite champions were slain, striking a psychological blow to the Meccans and boosting the morale of the Muslims. As the battle escalated, both sides clashed with fierce determination. The Muslims, inspired by their faith and their desire to defend their community, fought with unwavering courage. The Quraysh, despite their superior numbers and equipment, found themselves on the back foot, their initial overconfidence shaken by the Muslims' ferocity. A pivotal moment occurred when Muhammad, in a moment of intense prayer, threw a handful of pebbles toward the Quraysh ranks. This act, seemingly insignificant, had a profound impact on the battle. A strong wind picked up, blowing dust and sand into the faces of the Quraysh, creating confusion and disarray in their ranks. The Muslims, inspired by what they perceived as divine intervention, pressed their attack with renewed vigor. Another turning point came with the death of Abu Jahl, the mastermind behind the Quraysh's campaign against the Muslims. His death dealt a crushing blow to the morale of the Meccan army, and soon the Quraysh, their ranks broken and their spirit shattered, were routed. The Muslims, despite being outnumbered and outmatched, had emerged victorious.